The history of artists' paint is closely connected to the history of art itself. Throughout the centuries, painters have depended on pigments, binders, and painting techniques to express ideas, tell stories, and capture the world around them. The development of artists' paint has been shaped by discoveries in chemistry, trade, technology, and culture. From prehistoric cave paintings to modern acrylics, the evolution of paint has transformed what artists could create and how they worked. The earliest known artists lived tens of thousands of years ago. Long before written language, humans created images on cave walls using simple paints made from natural materials. These prehistoric painters ground minerals such as red ochre, yellow ochre, manganese oxide, and charcoal into powders. They mixed these pigments with water, animal fat, blood, saliva, or plant juices to create primitive paints. Some of the most famous examples of prehistoric painting can be found in the caves of Lascaux Cave in France and Altamira Cave in Spain. The paintings depict animals such as bison, horses, deer, and wild cattle. Although simple in materials, these artworks demonstrate remarkable artistic skill and an early understanding of color and form. The pigments used by prehistoric artists were limited but surprisingly durable. Many cave paintings have survived for over 20,000 years, proving the effectiveness of these early paint mixtures. Ancient Egypt, the birth of color technology. The ancient Egyptians were among the first civilizations to develop sophisticated paints specifically for artistic purposes. Egyptian artists used pigments obtained from minerals and gemstones. Green was made from malachite, blue from azurite, red from iron oxides, and black from carbon-based materials. One of the greatest achievements in the history of paint was the invention of Egyptian blue around 2500 BCE. This was the world's first synthetic pigment, created by heating silica, copper compounds, limestone, and alkali. The brilliant blue color became highly valued throughout the ancient world. Egyptian artists painted tombs, temples, papyrus scrolls, statues, and wooden objects. Paint was not used merely for decoration. Colors carried symbolic meanings. Blue represented the heavens and the Nile. Green symbolized fertility and rebirth, while gold signified divine power. The dry climate of Egypt helped preserve these paintings, allowing modern historians to study ancient painting techniques in extraordinary detail. The Greeks advanced painting beyond symbolic representation and sought greater realism. Although few original Greek paintings survive, ancient writers described artists who experimented with perspective, shading, and naturalistic color. Greek painters used a variety of pigments, including white lead, cinnabar, yellow ochre, and carbon black. Paint was applied not only to panels and walls, but also to sculptures. Contrary to modern assumptions, many Greek statues were originally brightly painted. The Romans inherited Greek artistic traditions and further expanded them. Roman painters became masters of fresco painting, a technique in which pigments mixed with water are applied to wet plaster. As the plaster dried, the colors became permanently integrated into the wall surface. The preserved wall paintings of Pompeii provide valuable insight into Roman painting techniques. These works reveal a sophisticated understanding of color, illusionistic architecture, and realistic depiction. After the fall of the Roman Empire, artistic production in Europe became centered largely around the Christian Church. During the Middle Ages, painters worked primarily on religious subjects for churches, monasteries, and manuscripts. The dominant painting medium of the medieval period was egg tempera. Tempera paint was made by mixing powdered pigments with egg yolk. This mixture produced bright colors and a durable surface but dried very quickly, requiring artists to work with precision. Medieval painters often prepared wooden panels with layers of gesso, a white ground made from chalk and animal glue. Once the surface was smooth, artists applied tempera in numerous fine brushstrokes to build up detailed images. Gold leaf became a characteristic feature of medieval painting. Artists used gold to create backgrounds that symbolized divine light and heavenly realms. Illuminated manuscripts, produced by monks and scribes, combined brilliant pigments with intricate decorative patterns. Despite the limitations of tempera, medieval artists achieved remarkable levels of craftsmanship and detail. The Renaissance marked one of the most important turning points in the history of artists' paint. Beginning in the 14th century and flourishing in the 15th and 16th centuries, Renaissance artists sought greater realism, depth, and emotional expression. Although oil paint had been known earlier, it was perfected by Northern European painters. The Flemish master, Jan van Eyck, is often credited with refining oil painting techniques during the early 15th century. Oil paint was created by mixing pigments with drying oils, usually linseed oil. Compared with tempera, oil paint offered significant advantages: slower drying times, richer and deeper colors, greater transparency through glazing, smooth blending of tones, enhanced realism. Artists could now create subtle transitions between light and shadow, producing lifelike effects never before possible. Renaissance masters such as Leonardo da Vinci used oil paint to develop techniques like sfumato, which created soft, smoky transitions between colors. Raphael and Titian further demonstrated the expressive possibilities of oil painting. The Renaissance also benefited from expanding trade routes. Valuable pigments such as ultramarine, made from lapis lazuli, imported from Afghanistan, became available to wealthy patrons and artists. Ultramarine was often more expensive than gold and was reserved for important figures such as the Virgin Mary. The 17th century witnessed the rise of the Baroque style, characterized by dramatic lighting, movement, and emotional intensity. Artists increasingly exploited the flexibility of oil paint to create powerful visual effects. The Italian painter Caravaggio used strong contrasts between light and dark, known as chiaroscuro, to heighten drama and realism. Meanwhile, Dutch masters such as Rembrandt explored thick paint application, known as impasto. By applying paint in textured layers, artists could create rich surfaces that interacted with light. The Baroque period demonstrated how paint itself could become an expressive medium rather than merely a vehicle for representation. During the Rococo period, artists favored elegance, decorative beauty, and lighter subject matter. Softer pastel colors became fashionable, reflecting the tastes of aristocratic society. Advances in pigment production allowed artists to expand their palettes. New shades of pink, blue, green, and yellow became available. Painters such as Jean-Honoré Fragonard and Antoine Watteau used these delicate colors to create scenes of leisure, romance, and fantasy. Artists continued to grind many of their own pigments and prepare their own paints. The process was labor-intensive and required considerable technical knowledge. The 19th century transformed the world of artists' paint through industrialization and scientific discovery. For centuries, artists had relied on natural pigments derived from minerals, plants, and insects. Chemists began developing synthetic pigments that were brighter, more stable, and less expensive. Important innovations included Prussian blue, chrome yellow, cadmium yellow, cobalt blue, viridian green. These pigments dramatically expanded the range of colors available to artists. Perhaps the most important invention for painters came in 1841, when John Gough Rand patented the collapsible metal paint tube. Before this invention, artists stored paint in animal bladders or mixed it fresh each day. The paint tube revolutionized artistic practice. Artists could now carry paints outdoors and work directly from nature. This development played a crucial role in the rise of Impressionism. Painters such as Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, and Camille Pissarro used portable paints to capture changing light conditions in the open air. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed unprecedented experimentation with paint. Artists no longer felt obligated to represent reality accurately. Instead, they explored color, form, and emotion as independent artistic elements. Painters such as Vincent van Gogh used thick, expressive brushwork and vibrant colors to convey emotion. Others, such as Pablo Picasso, challenged traditional ideas of representation altogether. The growing availability of commercial paints gave artists greater freedom to experiment. Paint manufacturers standardized production, making colors more consistent and reliable than ever before. One of the most significant developments of the 20th century was the invention of acrylic paint. Introduced commercially during the 1950s, acrylic paints use synthetic polymer emulsions as binders. They offered several advantages over traditional oils: fast drying times, water-based cleanup, excellent durability, bright, stable colors, flexibility on various surfaces. Artists quickly embraced acrylics because they combined some of the qualities of oil paint with greater convenience. Prominent modern artists experimented extensively with acrylics, helping establish them as a major artistic medium. Today, artists have access to an extraordinary variety of paints and pigments. Traditional oil paints remain popular, while acrylics, watercolors, gouache, inks, and mixed media materials offer countless creative possibilities. Modern paint manufacturers employ advanced chemistry to create pigments with exceptional light fastness and stability. Artists can choose from thousands of colors that would have been unimaginable to painters of earlier centuries. At the same time, many contemporary artists continue to study historical techniques. Workshops and conservation research have revived interest in traditional pigment grinding, tempera painting, and Renaissance oil methods. Digital technology has also influenced paint production. Computerized color matching and scientific analysis allow artists and conservators to understand historic paintings with unprecedented precision. The history of artists' paint is a story of continuous innovation. From the mineral pigments of prehistoric cave painters to the sophisticated acrylics and oils of today, each generation of artists has benefited from advances in materials and technology. The development of paint has shaped artistic movements, influenced cultural expression, and expanded the boundaries of creativity. Whether applied with fingers on a cave wall, carefully layered on a Renaissance panel, or sprayed onto a contemporary canvas, paint remains one of humanity's most powerful tools for visual expression. For thousands of years, artists have transformed simple pigments into masterpieces. The evolution of paint reflects not only advances in science and craftsmanship, but also humanity's enduring desire to create beauty, tell stories, and leave a lasting mark on history.